Hi everybody, my name is Shannon and welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Today's Wednesday and a lot of people refer to it as WIP Wednesday. This will be my first time doing so. Why not jump on the bandwagon? Actually, I'm doing this because I've gotten a lot of comments in my comment section about some of the things that I throw forward and, maybe getting a chance to get them done. I did a video about a week ago. I don't know exactly how long. It wasn't that long ago. I swear it wasn't. And it was my sweaters of shame. There's nothing wrong with my sweaters if you like vests. They don't have sleeves. They're supposed to have sleeves, but they don't have sleeves yet. Instead of actually finishing one of my sweaters, I just started in a new one, just whatever. So I showed 5 different sweaters and I had a lot of comments on pick a day. Some people were saying, finish it Friday and work on that, or WIP Wednesday, or it doesn't really matter what catchy name or phrase. Just for goodness sakes, woman, pick a day and work on some of these whips. Okay, all right, I can do that. Okay. So I grabbed one and, all of them were stalled for various reasons. Generally, it was a decision-making point. This one right here that I have, this is Noro yarn. It's my first time using Noro yarn. And it had a decision point too. I was working on it and I got the body of it done and I got down to the ribbing and I decided I'd be all fancy and do seed stitched on the ribbing for the hem. And I didn't like the way it looked. I love seed stitch all over. It did not look good as the hem. Somebody else in the comments had commented that they've done such things too, and it tends to make you a little wider looking. I'm already voluptuous. That's the word I like to use. There's a lot of curves, and yeah, I don't need my clothing to make me look larger in areas. You know what I'm getting at. So I wanted to pull that out and then, attach all my needles and work on that from there. Right. I know, it's something. It's so pretty. The yarn is, I have another ball. This is a different colorway, but this is the same yarn. This is Akari, A-K-A-R-I. It's a Noro, right? We know that. The composition of this is 26% silk, 21% cotton, 15% viscose, 14% mohair, 12% wool, and 12% polyamide. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's right. You couldn't do like 30%, 10. You couldn't do it by 10s or 5s. You got some odd numbers in there. This is 200 grams plus or minus and 480 meters. Speaking of plus and minus, look at this. Hey. It said plus or minus. I'm not the one that said plus or minus, right? But I have a scale. Yeah. We're going to weigh it. We're going to see. This is a brand new one. It's not the colorway I'm using, but I'm going to see. Oh, good. The batteries still work. Grandkids were over. They like to weigh yarn, so there's no telling. Okay, it says it's 205 grams. Love that. I don't know if you've ever weighed your balls of yarn. Some are over, some are under. Love it when they're over. When they're under, not so much. That's just how that works. 205 yards at the price that this stuff is, or 205 grams at the price this is, I'm gonna go for it. Full price, this was $39.95. I got this particular ball at a yarn store going out of business. The ones for my sweater right here, I got these. My husband and I were driving back from somewhere and we stopped in a yarn store we'd never been in before. I forget what state. And they definitely charged a premium because they were not 40, they were more each. And he got me 2, and that's what I'm making my sweater from. There you go. Oh, here's my progress. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the seed stitch border so then I can start working on this sweater, pulling out the needles, making a mess. Yeah, that's okay. I can do it unceremoniously. Okay, needles are out. Time to start pulling. Here we go. Oh, where's my ball? I have a ball of Noro right here. I've got my camera precariously set up in just a really, really awkward situation. It's just not how it should be. Just gonna throw that out there, making a mess. All right. So I am on, once I get the seed stitch pulled out, I can go ahead, put my needles back in, and go ahead and do a traditional ribbing. And then I will just have sleeves left. Sounds familiar, right? Only the sleeves remain. Yeah, well, it's a thing. It'll get worked on. But this is part of it right here. As soon as this gets done, that's one step closer to having another sweater. And this is my first time working with the Norol yarn. It is beautiful. I mean, obviously I've always admired it. It's gorgeous, but it's my first time actually using it. And I should probably finish it. This stuff, if you've priced it, you know, it's just not the cheapest. So by golly, we should make sure that we use it. There. I'll come back later and maybe show you what it looks like back on the needles. All right, here's the ball of yarn that I have left. I've pulled out all of the seed stitching. Now it's just a matter of picking up my stitches. And I'll just go around. This is a good grabby yarn. So you can see, not an issue. And I am picking them up in the right orientation at the moment, but if I have some that are not, just because they're starting to slip and wanting to run down, that's okay. I'll pick them up in the wrong orientation when I go to knit the next row or do my, I'll probably knit the next row and then go ahead and start ribbing. It's not an issue. I'll orientate them correctly. And for the same thing, if this does, it's pretty grabby yarn, but if it does, somewhere along the row, if I lose a stitch or two, it's not a big deal. I'll pick it up where it is, and when I get to that point, I'll make sure that I knit those stitches, catch it back up to where I am. So don't be afraid of your knitting. Don't be afraid of losing a few stitches. Okay, here's an example right here. Do you see this one? Let me see. Can you see that? That one's not knit. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to slip it. I'll catch that next time when I come back to it, and I'll grab that. I'm not going to mess with it right now because I don't want to end up pulling some of the other stitches and dropping them. But just going around and grabbing them all, and not a big deal. You shouldn't be afraid of your knitting or crocheting for that matter. Really very simple, very easy, enjoyable crafts. Just picking up those stitches, going all the way around. So I'm really kind of happy that that one fell off, so I can at least show you what I was referring to and just not being stressed over it. Okay, here's another one. See that? Oh, no, that one I've got it. I made it. But had I slipped that one off, wouldn't have been a problem. No big deal. Now, if this were a rayon or a bamboo, very slippery, something along that line, your stitches are going to run a whole lot easier. This is pretty grabby. It's a nice, comfortable yarn. I think it's a wool, silk, cotton, everything luxury kind of fiber blend. I'm not really sure. I don't remember right offhand. I do have a ball band. It's just not sitting in front of me. But once I get this all the way around, I will be ready to start knitting again. So that is exciting. This will be back into the rotation. Getting this needle set, that's a huge part, right? Gotta celebrate our little victories. And getting this ready is a victory. And once I do that, I can do that ribbing for the bottom, bind off for that, and then procrastinate on those sleeves, since that seems to be an issue for me. I don't know why. I like to knit. I'm knitting or crocheting constantly. So what's the big deal? It's still stitches. It's still getting something moved forward. It's still progressing. So I don't know why that takes so much time for me, since I've got, what, 5 sweaters, something along that line, that need to be worked on. Okay, did I lose that one? Okay. Nope, got that one too. You can see how relaxing and therapeutic this is, right? Just enjoyable. I don't remember, did I put waist shaping in this one? I don't know. I've just recently started learning how to put in bust darts. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm putting them in. And the waist shaping is a little bit more, to me, straightforward. You know, everyone has their differences, right? But that to me seems a bit more straightforward and understandable. I might have put some in here. I think we've said this before on some of the videos. I am an XL. Not complaining. Just, see, that one's not oriented correctly, but that's okay. Not complaining. Just, it is what it is. That's where I'm at. But I do have a waist. I've always had a difference between measurements, regardless of how large I've gotten. Nice way to put it. There's still a good distance between bust and hips. So for me, I like the waist shaping, even though I'm larger, because it accents my particular body shape, my figure, better, and it looks nicer. Whereas the A-frame or the A-line stuff or something makes me look larger than what I am. That's not as pleasant, right? Okay, that one's one. Oh, I got that one. Let's face it, as women, when we look in the mirror, we always see a heck of a lot larger than what we really are. It's interesting things as far as that goes. Now, rejoice in each individual person, personality, body shape, body type, etc. There you go. Hey, look at that. I am almost back to the beginning. And I think I've only got 1 or 2 stitches maybe that need to be corrected where I've just dropped it. And, oh, there you go. So I'm at the point where I can go ahead and start my knitting again. And easy going. So we'll see how this works and how quickly I get the rest of the sweater done. There we go. Okay, so I at least got some done. I'm really happy with that. I did notice that I had some waist shaping, and to me, I don't know if I did a good job. It's a good way to put it. And I'm going to probably set this one out for a little while longer, just because I'm not sure. I think right along here, right below the bust area, it looks a little bit bulkier. It's not laying right to me. I have gained quite a bit of weight since I started this, so there is that. I mean, just different ways to look at that. And, you know, when we're making something, we really want it to fit us. We want it to look nice. We want it to be pretty. Maybe this will end up going to somebody else if I can't get it to work the way I want it to for my body. I don't know. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the sleeves, because that's not a finished sleeve. The neckline is done. That's got an I-cord type of a binding, so that's good. But the sleeves, I want to do something. I have this much left. How much is that? I don't know how much it is. Let's see. I have 106 grams. So I've got half a ball, a solid half a ball left to do sleeves or finish it off in some sort. It doesn't have to be long sleeves, but, you know, cap sleeve, a little bit longer or something to where it makes it look finished. I don't know if this looks finished. It's not bad looking, but I'm not sure if it's giving that good polished look. So that is all my progress and everything that I have done on this particular sweater this week. You know, if you're not comfortable pulling things out, you know why this sat as long as it did with that seed stitch border on there. And if you're not comfortable with picking up your stitches, again, you know why it sat, because if you're not comfortable picking up stitches, you have to unknit, which, as we know, takes just as long as knitting because you're just knitting in reverse, right? So it's sat for quite some time. Part of the reason it got warmer, didn't need a sweater, and it's getting cold again, so definitely time to work on that. And the other is just the decision making. What do you want to do with the bottom? How do you want to make the sleeves? That's where my sweaters are. That's where a lot of my WIPs are. When I start, you know, this one was a top down, fine, easy, wave shaping, no wave shaping. That part to me is easy. What type of a bottom? Don't get crazy. I got crazy. I paid the price. And then it comes to the sleeves. That's a decision. Yeah, so then it gets kind of shoved in the corner just a little bit. And then I start something new because I'm really itching to start something new because I've got all these sweaters and I want to start a new one. I haven't finished these, but I want to start a new one. I know that's crazy. It's just, that's how my brain works. It's a good thing I finish a whole lot of things because it makes it worth it. Anyway, tell me what you would do with this. What type of sleeves would you put on there? I've got enough yarn. Not to make a full length sleeve, but I do have enough yarn to do something with it, to add to it, to give it that finished look. We'll see how quickly I get to this one because I don't know if I can stand up, but right here, I don't know if you can see it. To me, it looks, see, can you see that bump right there? That's, and it's on both sides. Yeah, I get it. I've gained some weight. I don't know. I don't need more bumps than I have. That's a good way to put it, right? I have my own bumps. I have my own. So I don't know if that's really an issue. I don't know if once it's washed or anything like that, it's not been blocked. I don't think it really needs it. So I don't know. It could all be in my head. It could be just something that's no big deal. No one else would notice. And, but you know how we are with crafters is if there's a mistake, if you can live with it, by all means. But sometimes I, in particular, have to knit or crochet at least 2 to 3 inches past the error that I know I can't stand and I can't live with before I finally rip it all out. I don't know why I can't make that decision as soon as I notice it. No, because I try to convince myself it's okay. So that's where I'm at with this. So I finished the bottom. I like the ribbing better. I like that. But then when I put that on there, I noticed that where I did some wave shaping, that maybe I should have started it sooner. So if I pull it back, I'm going to have like 6 to 8 inches that I'll be pulling back to correct, to get it to fit the way I want it to fit. Yeah, it's whatever. It's just, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll look great on someone else. There you go. Except my husband got this yarn special for me. So it's got to look great on me. If it was one of the other yarns, I would just give it to somebody else going, oh, it looks great. That's fine. There, because they wouldn't notice. They wouldn't notice. They wouldn't care. They'd be happy with it. They'd love it. But me, I'm going to notice the one stitch that's backwards. That's just how that works. All right, everybody. I am done with my WIP for this week. Oh my goodness. I have put so much into this, a lot more thought than work, but we know how that goes. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. And there we go. One step at a time, one stitch at a time, whether it's backwards or forwards, we'll get it done. All right, everyone, you guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.